Hey guys, it's Gary with Runes of Life. Just wanted to bring a reaction to the recent Lord of the Rings Rings of Power trailer that debuted at San Diego Comic-Con. There's been a couple trailers, one last week or something, but I'm going to particularly look at this one. I went through it, and all I can say is I'm pretty hyped for it. It looks like they're hitting all the right notes as far as you can tell from a trailer, and I know trailers can be dressed up to look awesome or can lie about things or whatever. But that's all I have to go on right now, so I have to judge it by that. But yeah, it seems like it's hitting all the notes I want to see. You've got the epic set pieces, what looks like it's going to be some epic battles, but you've also seems like you have the smaller character moments. Speaking of characters, there looks like there are characters that I want to know more about just from looking at what they're doing. Galadriel, for example, I wasn't sure how the warrior persona for her was going to work out, but the more I see of her, the more I want to know more of her story. There are the dwarves. Dwarves are always a favorite of mine, and hobbits as well, and I want to know more about them. The hobbits in here, I guess they're called Harfoots, predecessors of the hobbits. I'm glad they're in there because I like hobbits. They're probably one of the weaker parts where I'm like, man, they look kind of weird, but I'm willing to kind of wait for the story to see if it fits in. I also like a lot of the aesthetics to this, particularly some of the we got to see the orcs in here, and they are looking very good work on them as far as what they look like, and as far as other creatures that we see. There's these hands that just seem to appear that we don't know what they belong to. I don't know if it's supposed to be part of Sauron or if it's orcs, but you'll see these hands sort of crawling around and reaching for things, and at one moment they reach out and grab somebody, and I'm liking that. I'm liking the creepiness too that brings to it, and as well as the look of it. And there's one scene where there's a shipwreck or something and I think it's Galadriel swimming through the ocean. You just see the sea serpent or something go through the background. And I was watching with my wife. I told her, well, what is that? So of course, I don't know what that is. But, all these things, it's looking like they're hitting the right notes for it as far as trailers go. Concerns I have, one of the big concerns that everybody has is, if they're going to deviate from Tolkien lore. Like I've said, I've lived through so many comic book reboots and Star Wars retcons and reboots that I'm not as particular on this as everybody else. You really just, for me, you got to tell a good story, and you've got to be true to not necessarily every single fact, but more to the themes that the story needs to bring out. So, for example, with Tolkien, it's fighting back the darkness, fighting back the shadow. It's the small acts of courage and the difference that those make. Themes of friendship and bonds. Those have always been more important to me than getting an exact date right or this character lived during this year and not that year. And I see nothing, and of course you can't really tell that from a trailer, but I see nothing that says that they're not going to get those themes right. But that is the thing that for me to watch, and we'll find it out. Any other concerns? It's just at one point I was worried because you get all these news stories and they'd have rumors that you would think like it's going to be made like Game of Thrones because there's rumors there'd be nudity or something at one point, and that's pretty much has been, I won't say debunked, but it's not as much of concern after hearing some of the things that the directors have said, that they do want to make this more of a family, not family friendly, but enough that you could watch it with some of your older kids and not be embarrassed or anything like that. So that was one of my concerns, but I'm not so much concerned about that, especially since it doesn't seem to be showing that in the trailer. Other concerns, really nothing major. That doesn't mean that I'm thinking that this is necessarily going to hit it out of the park. I mean, can I say that a concern is that it's going to be okay and not awesome? It's going to be and not yeah, I guess you could say that's a concern, but there's nothing where I'm like looking at this and like, oh, there's going to be one thing where this is going to be awful. It's just going to be like, okay, now let's see if you can put a movie together, right? Now let's see if it doesn't look like you've screwed up anything major. Let's see if you can now take it to the finish line and not create something that just is a mess. And that comes down to the basics of movie editing, acting, and script writing and such like that. But there's nothing where I'm like, oh my gosh, I can tell right now they've ruined it because they added this or they took this away. Really, at this point, it's just, can they take it to the finish line? So yeah, tell me what you think about it. Hopefully you're looking forward to it, because it's going to be here, I think September 2nd, so a little bit over a month. Hoping to do some more reactions to news from Comic-Con pretty soon. But yeah, I'd love to hear what you think about this.